Travis, just so you're aware, I'm a massive
Oh,
last
you're
year as
ready for the
well.
album for sure. You got the tattoo. Yeah, you
The
got the
tattoos,
tattoo for the album and everything. Oh,
I got
that's
them.
so awesome.
I got them all, man. Massive
Thank you,
fan.
Lucas.
I was on the cruise last year. I'm a massive fan of you and the band specifically. So, I'll kind of
Thank
just
you.
kick straight in. No, it's all good, man. 20 years plus you guys have been in my life, so this is a big deal.
Sweet.
Um, awesome. I'm just gonna do a
Sorry
quick
to be
little intro.
doing this. I'm doing this from a bus bug. So
It's all good. You're right. You just did Vegas, right?
we did Vegas, and now I'm in another band called LS Dunes, and I'm actually on tour with them, and with a band called Rise Against, and I'm actually leaving directly from this tour to come back out there with Coheed. So I'm doing these few shows tonight. I'm in Brooklyn, which I'm actually probably going to see Claudio, hopefully, and then
Oh, killer.
because he lives in Brooklyn now. He has for
Yeah.
a few years, so we're going to hopefully connect and hang out for a little bit later, and then I'll do these last couple of shows, and then I'll be seeing you. Where are you located?
Brisbane. So I'll be on the first two shows.
Awesome. I
Yeah,
like
yeah, I'm really
Brisbane.
excited for it. Brisbane's good, and I mean, you guys love Brisbane too. You guys are going to be doing two shows here in the first two
Yeah,
nights.
very excited
So
about it.
with that, I was going to kind of talk about that a bit later. So the second show, so the first show is going to be obviously Neverender. Second show is going to be billed as the career spanning set that's going to feature classics and even some surprises. So as a long-time fan, is that a show where we can expect deep cuts, or is that going to kind of be the greatest hit show? Do you think?
I think it'll be a little of both. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
But I think for the most part, it'll be a lot of our greatest, like a lot of like the familiar stuff. So people that didn't get that the night before will feel satisfied. There's some people, some people are coming to both. So I think
Like me,
there's
for
people that
example.
are coming. Yeah, I think there are certain people. I mean, I know that like somebody who's a major fan of the band all these years, like you, thankfully, would kind of probably even prefer to hear something different than a Favor House or a Blood Red Summer or something like that on that second night. But then there's going to be all those people that'll be pissed off they didn't get it. So we're going to definitely have to play a lot of that stuff. So it's all the deep cuts will have to be the back seat to the songs that people definitely come to that second night for. But
Yeah, for sure.
that being said,
I
it
mean, if I
depends on how many we get.
for sure. I mean, if I had my way, I would definitely be going like, "Hey, you should put Road in the Damned." I think that's probably one of the best songs in your guys' entire
Well,
catalog.
maybe
I
there
love
will
it
be
so much.
maybe there'll be a couple of No World songs because we did just do it, but I don't want to go off and say that, and I haven't even talked to everybody about it yet, so we'll see.
No, all good. Now, this is the first Coheed tour since 2016. Obviously, Josh had his heart issues in 2019. You guys could make the Good Things tour. Are you excited to finally be coming back after 8 years?
Yeah, I forgot that it was his heart issues, which he's doing awesome now. So I forgot
Mm.
that was one of the things because then next thing you knew, it was the new year and the pandemic hit. So it was
Mhm.
like because we were supposed to come during that time, like everything was set to come back after all that shit it was over, and we were going to come back, I think, in 2020, and then that hit, or 2021, and then that hit, and then we weren't coming back, and it's just been a long road to coming back there, and I can't wait now. I think it's long overdue. We all
Hell
agree.
yeah. Hell yeah. So outside of the second Brisbane show, obviously, this is going to be the first time that you guys are bringing Neverender to Australia. For those that are unfamiliar with the concept, can you give it a quick explanation and also where the names come from? Because I know, but some people may not.
Well, I mean, Coheed and Cambria are characters in a concept, and basically the concept is based around those characters and their existence. We've moved on to a new set of characters with the story Vaxis, which that still has to do with Good Apollo, because it's basically become an origin story almost of everything to do with Coheed and Cambria and the Amory Wars, which if you know the band, then you're familiar that is what the comic book series that follows the story and the lyrics of the story, which you're familiar with, that a lot of you out there might not be. And the Amory Wars is written by Claudio and his wife Chandra. uh, which follows each record, aside from a record we have called The Color Before the Sun, which is not within the concept. But now with the new albums, which I should add that some of that material will be in the set in the next night as well, because those albums, we have two albums so far in the Vaxis um, series, which you are familiar with, but other people may not be. And like I said, that's developed into almost an origin story, and there'll be a lot more to come within the Amory Wars and all the other albums. Basically, what's happening is everything is tied in together into this universe that Claudio has created within his lyrics. Now, Good Apollo 1 is a part of the story when basically the the characters start to become reality to the writer. And I know that makes sense to you, but for some other people, it may not. So to explain it in
It's
better detail,
it's a
the
concept that is
writer,
completely bonkers when you think about it at a base
it
level. But
is,
like,
but I mean, it's
in a
easy to
way,
explain in the sense that the writer of the whole story, in this case being Claudio,
yeah,
uh, if it starts to come to life, all the characters, everything about it within their mind during this record. And
mhm,
so the characters within the concept of the Amory Wars, basically it becomes like a person who's going mad and their own characters start to invade their world in
mhm.
reality. So yeah, that's what we're bringing to Australia. Madness.
Cannot wait. I'm so excited. And saying that as well, obviously, like I said, this is the first time Neverender is coming to Australia. So obviously, Second Stage and Keeping Secrets have never come out here as part of that concept. Would there be ever plans potentially to maybe bring those out if this does really well?
Oh yeah, I would love to, you know?
Mm. Yeah,
Yeah,
there's a
we
bunch
would
of stuff.
love
I
to.
think when you guys have toured Australia in the past, there hasn't been a lot of Second Stage in the set. It has been a lot of Keeping Secrets, a lot of Good Apollo 1, and then maybe the new album you guys are touring. So
I'll tell you
being
what,
able to,
Lucas, I'll bring that up as something, you know,
yeah,
um, to
yeah,
hopefully add a couple of songs from Second Stage. You know,
yeah,
I'm always a big I'm always a big cheerleader for adding like Delirium Trigger and stuff like that. So we'll see.
yeah. Delirium Trigger, Everything Evil. I mean, that's a song that I love. 33. Like there's some there's some bangers on that album.
Yep.
But yeah, no. So it's another concept that I kind of had an idea for, and I'm going to pitch it to you. I'm going to see what you think, right? So obviously, the original Neverender was the 4 nights. You did New York, London, Chicago, and LA, right? A couple of years ago, about 8 years ago, last time, finally, if you guys were here, Opeth played the Sydney Opera House. Maybe bring the 4 night album out of retirement and play it at the Opera House.
I mean, that would be incredible, but I mean, if we had the Opera House, I'd like to think that we would do everything.
Yeah,
You
for
know,
sure.
like I mean, maybe do everything up to, save Vaxis for later, but do everything before that. Like,
Yeah,
and I think in order it would go Afterman, then You're the Black Rainbow Second Stage and the Good Apollo, then In Keeping and then the Good Apollo. So that'd be
yeah.
amazing.
Think of
I
it.
mean, you got a place
Think
like
of
the
it.
Sydney Opera House. Why don't you do it all, right?
That's it. I think if we ever got a year of the Black Rainbow Neverender, I think I would lose my mind because I think that album's crazy underrated. There's some insanely good songs on that album.
Absolutely.
Um,
And I
for
appreciate you
sure.
saying that.
Yeah. Now, a few weeks ago, we got the long teased full version of Blind Side Sonny, with Sonny having dropped, plus the other new song, The Joke, having recently dropped a few months ago. Is that and maybe an expectation we can be expecting a Vaxis 3 soon, or like what's the timeline on that?
I mean, I'm not going to hide it. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I'm not going to be able to give you the timeline though, but there's a new
Yeah,
record coming out next year. The Joke was
next year.
definitely a standalone, but Blind Side Sonny is a part of that.
So Blindside. Oh, so Blindside's going to be part of Axis 3.
Yes.
Hell yeah. Okay, cool. Sweet. I didn't know that, but that's awesome. Two final
Yeah.
questions
Well, I
before I
don't.
let you
I
go.
don't think that that's a big like. There's going to be announcements coming soon, but um, Blindside is a major character that will develop more and more. And I'm
Mm.
excited for that.
I didn't have this question written down, but I'm curious about it. So Blind Side is obviously a very heavy song in comparison to maybe stuff you've made over the last, I don't know, 4 or 5 records. How did it feel kind of going back to almost kind of that post-hardcore vibe of the earlier albums? Because that's kind of what that song is.
Okay, can you ask that last part one more time?
Sorry. So with Blind Side Sonny, right? That's kind of, I guess, a return to a bit more of a post-hardcore sound that you guys had in the earlier records. How did it feel kind of returning back to that sound? Because it is a much heavier song comparatively to some of the stuff you've written now.
It's an easy fit. We're always working on stuff, and and it is no boundary. So it
Yeah,
wasn't like it felt easy to go back to that sound. Always
yeah,
does.
for sure. With no boundary too, you're 100% right. That last album, I think, is your most accessible in terms of there's pop, there's rock, there's metal, there's prog, there's everything on it. Like, again, another record that I think is crazy good. And again, super accessible. So you're right. You kind of guys have now broken the boundaries of being able to make kind of whatever you want, and the fans will eat it up, which is great.
Yeah, no, thanks, Lucas. That means a lot. It'll
No worries.
continue to
Now,
happen.
the 2 more questions. These are more specifically for you, not really the tour or the band. Obviously, you mentioned LS Dunes earlier. Violet, the second album is going to be dropping early next year. Any plans to bring LS Dunes out?
Would love to. And we talk about it all the time, but when it comes to Dunes, it's just about working the schedule so everybody can make it happen,
Yeah.
but Australia has been discussed numerous times. So we'll see. Hopefully in the new year.
Yeah, for sure. It'll be cool to see you and Anthony on the same stage in Australia again after the 2013 Afterman tour. Like you guys were
That
here
was
with
a lot
Circa
of
and
fun.
Coheed. So
Yeah, we talk about
yeah,
that
that was
tour all the time.
yeah, it was a good tour. I loved it. I've got the poster hanging in my room. Like, I've got everything. Again, massive fan. Love. That was a great tour. Loved it. Now the final question I've got for you. I know there's another musician that you're very familiar with, super close with, and it's the White Claw loving legend himself, Cleveland Steve.
Still
Is there
lost at
any?
sea.
Is he still lost to sea? No one's heard from him.
Yeah, yeah. But I mean, you never know. Maybe he'll just roll up on a raft made of white claws someday. Who
That's it. Maybe
knows?
they can find him. Maybe they can find him on the SS Neverender next year.
Yeah. I always am looking out on over the sea and seeing if I any sign of that guy. You never know. He's a
No
survivor.
worries. Well, fingers crossed he can kind of make it up to Australia and try some of the insane beverages we've got here, because I know he's going to love the drinks that we've got. That's for sure.
Yeah. Who knows? Maybe he's there now. I don't know. Might not
Who
be at
knows?
sea. Might be there. Maybe he'll surface
That's
while
it.
I'm out there this time. Who knows?
He's on a 6-week bender.
Yeah. So that's 2-year bender. It would be, I guess.
Oh yeah, true.
Yeah.
Cool. So Coheed and Cambria will be in Australia in a few short weeks as part of Monolith Festival with Prog Juggernauts Periphery, Leporus, Intervals, Novelist, and Silver Fang. Monolith hits Brisbane, which is sold out on November 2nd, before the Coheed embark on some solo shows. Brisbane, obviously, Hobart, Adelaide, finishing with Monolith in Melbourne and Sydney. Coheed is a band not to be missed. Again, I love this band to death. I appreciate you taking the time out to chat. Thanks so much, and we'll see you in a few weeks.
Thanks, Lucas. Appreciate it.